Alright, let's go get started. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome to the channel, where today we're going to be checking out a game I've been very excited for and waiting for quite some time. This is First Dwarf, which just had a public playtest go live earlier today. I tried recording this video a little bit earlier, but I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather and decided the audio quality really wasn't still all that great, and even now I'm kind of struggling to decide whether or not this video will go live. So I do apologize in advance. Pollen season, allergy season's here, and it's literally kicking my whole family's butt. But I am here, and I'm happy to say that I've got to play First Dwarf. I really enjoyed it. I actually went through the entire demo, so hopefully this will go a little bit easier the second time through, and I can explain a little bit what's going on as we play through the game, because I'll be honest, this game isn't tutorialized very well. But that being said, there's a lot of meat and bones on this that can make for a fantastic game in the future. So if you like the content and you want to see more games like First Dwarf here on the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. As always, I hope everyone's having a great day, and let's jump into it. Alright, there goes our drop into the world. Alright, so let's go ahead and start this bad boy up. This is right after the crash explosion. I actually wasn't anticipating the animated cinematic the first time, so it was really nice. I did notice there's a little bit of lag when that animation first started. That was the actual animation, not my computer or anything like that.
It wasn't natural for sure. But next time, maybe work on your landing technique.
Alright, so this is the world that we dropped into. This is the world of First Dwarf, and our first order of business is to get our mech up and running. Unfortunately, we can't interact with it right now. Instead, we're going to go around and we're going to collect the broken pieces of our airship. You do have the two pieces of, or you have your two bars there. We have our health bar.
Good thing it didn't fall far.
And we also have our stamina bar. And so we're going to go ahead and run around and pick up all these pieces as we can. We're looking for all the ship's pieces that drop. You'll notice that our two objectives up there is to find the destroyed pieces of our ship, as well as repair our mech.
We can look around. Some pieces might have landed elsewhere, but I think it's a good spot. Just smell the forest. Time to build a base.
Alright, so I believe we did pick up all the pieces of our airship for now. Okay, yes, I believe that's all of them. So now we should be able to go over to our mech and repair our mech, and you do that by walking over there and holding F on it. We can see our two bars. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, there it is. It's kind of finicky about where you stand on this one.
Just look at this mech. That's what I call good dwarf workmanship. A few dents, that's all. I'll fix them right away.
So this is one of the things. I actually reached out to developers on their local Discord and pointed out that this is something that's not tutorialized very well, but there are no healing potions or anything of that sort. You will run around in your mech a lot. Instead, in order to repair your mech, what you do is you actually hit, I believe it's tab, and you have this menu that pops up, and you actually learn about this whenever you're able to play as the dragon. which you have a pet dragon named Ragna you can take control of and do things with that. But you select your dwarf and he jumps out, and then you turn around, and if it's injured, you just hold F to repair it. There are no costs or anything associated with that as far as I can tell. But that's something that's not very well easily tutorialized. So there's that. As far as everything else, right now you have 3 main resources. You have your rock, your stone, and it looks like your steel. However, in this tutorial, you won't be dealing with steel at all. Not as far as I know. I don't think I encountered any of that or built any of that myself. So the general idea behind First Dwarf is that you are here to colonize these unexplored lands with other dwarves. So to do so, you basically need to go around and find resources and craft the different facets of your colony. Then you'll call in colonizers using ravens that are scattered throughout the island near and around your base. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go ahead and take the preemptive and chop down every tree I can find, mostly because I know for a fact that this early area is going to require that we pick up quite a bit of lumber and stone as well, much more than it is widely available where I'll build a base. And I already have a general idea of where I'm going to build my base because I have done this before, as well as an idea for some placements for stuff. Because of the way the game tries to teach you some of the things, it feels like it's glossed over a little bit where the best places to throw down certain aspects of your base are. So we are going to hopefully maximize our time here by building exactly where we feel the best encampments would be for the building. So we're going to go ahead and take down all these trees. I would like to ideally be around 300 of both resources. That sounds like a lot. It is really not hard to get all those amount of resources, especially when we get a sawmill and basically a stone quarry running in our favor. So the next thing it wants us to do is to build a base. We're going to build this base by finding a good place for it, and we're going to find a good place for this by finding a mana well. A mana well is basically the source of everything that's going to power. Imagine it's basically like a power generator for your town. So as we can see right here, right behind all these trees, we have ourselves a mana well. It's right here on the ground. It puts out so much mana a day, and your base and different resources consume so much mana. So essentially over time, if you're wanting to expand your base, you're going to make sure that you're not oversaturating how much mana is being taken from your well as to not unpower things. So there's our mana well, and right now we need to look at building a base nearby. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and chop down these trees because, of course, trees are in the way. You will not be able to build stuff right where they're at. Same thing with rocks. If there are rocks nearby, you are not going to be able to build in those specific environments. But once you clear this area, you're going to be able to freely build wherever you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out all this stuff near the stone quarry, and that's it right back there. That giant stone wall is essentially the icon for where we're going to put our stone quarry at. I'm going to go ahead and pick up these. There's berries over there against the wall there on our right side. I'm not entirely sure what the berries are to be used for just yet. But I still pick them up just in case. If you notice there at the bottom of our screen, we also have mana right there. That's our mana bar. I believe the mana is used for special abilities, such as you get the ability to hover and high jump and stuff with your characters, and I believe that's more or less the way that you use those abilities is by taking mana. And the good news is, while mana is a finite resource in the sense that you can only carry so much due to your backpack, as you can see the mana is flowing there in my backpack, it can be refueled very easily by going over to a mana well yourself and hooking up to it using a hose and then draining some of the mana for your backpack. So we're almost done chopping down all these trees, which means we have quite a bit of resource in the wood department, which is very awesome for us. And we shall get to building our base. I'm mostly clearing this path right here because that is where our lumber mill in that thicket of forest right there. You need to put a lumber mill. It's actually, basically there's a belt that goes around that. And the only way to get the lumber mill to go is to attach it to that belt. So we're going to go ahead and place our house right about here. That's our main base. And our build menu is brought up by control.
New colony. Wood and stone. Or how they say it. We have some wood, now it's time for stone. Finally.
Alright.
Dries or rots. And stone lasts for ages.
And we've gone ahead and collected all the wood we need to.
You cannot build a house without stone.
So now we found a quarry right here. We'll go ahead and interact with it.
This looks like a good place to dig.
Wait a moment. Look at these scratches. Somebody has been here before us.
A rock must have broken off, that's it.
This is where we're going to introduce our first
We are
combat.
the first to explore here.
What's that sound?
What is it?
I think something that doesn't want to be our friend.
Alright, so here's our first dose of combat. Whenever you swing, it is with the left click. You can actually combo it. It took me a minute to realize this was a thing. You have a stamina bar that's actively...
What was this thing?
You can have a stamina bar that's actively draining as you do your combos.
Animals, but this?
I think it used to be a wild animal.
What on earth happened to it?
And then
I'm
we
not sure,
come over
but
here.
I think it was something even the songs are afraid to mention.
So now that we've gone through that dialogue, we can focus on killing these nests. These void creatures, I believe if you don't destroy this in time,
No, such
they keep
things
spawning.
never appear one at a time. It's like an illness spreading through the body. It's only the beginning. Have you done enough digging?
Yes, that's it. Now we can build a well on the mana spring. The colony buildings need mana just like my armor.
So yeah, so now we have a couple things that we need to do. First, we need to build a mono well. Apparently, we don't have the lumber mill option. So we're going to go ahead and walk over to our mono well. And we are going to hit the E button over here and construct a mono well right on top of it. This gives us 170 mana a day, I
I could dig
believe.
stone all day, but I've sure had enough of cutting wood. It's high time to build a sawmill and power it up with a mana pipeline.
Alright, so we'll bring up our build menu and we'll tab to go over to resources, and this is going to get our lumber mill. As you can see, there's this yellow belt around the forest. We just need to pick a place we want to attach it, and then boom. But this area is, this does not currently have any power to it. We actually need to create a, basically a power line to it. So what we do is we go over to settlement tab, and we're going to mouse over to our mana pipeline. We'll click on our mana well, and this will attach to our house. And then we can click on our house, and we can draw these out wherever we want. And as long as there's a clear path, we can actually get it to where we want. So then we'll click on this, and then boom.
A stone mine and a quarry connected to the pipeline.
You said you could dig stone all day.
Work first, play later.
We'll go over here and make our stone quarry. And then we'll go ahead and tab over and make sure that we connect to our monoline. So we'll come over here. And that should be enough to go ahead and power our quarry. So now we have
The sun is
some...
setting.
Oh,
Not good. We still haven't prepared for unwanted guests.
Expecting someone?
All the filthiest things in this world like to come out at night.
I can breathe fire, but I'm afraid you won't make it.
We could use some defensive turrets.
Let's hurry up, my poor, defenseless True.
alright. So now that we've established our lumber mill and our stone quarry, we now have to come up with defenses against the void monsters that will come at different points in the game. Now, again, this is very important to know. This game is still in a playtest phase, early access phase, if you will. So there is some jank to sometimes whenever the monsters show up, because it starts to storm out and it takes the FPS a little bit. This is something that the devs are keenly aware of and are working on smoothing out over time, and I have the utmost faith that they'll figure this out because they have been receptive to the community. Whenever I made some of my critiques known to them earlier, they responded very quickly and wanted to know more details about the errors that were happening. So good on them. I really like the engagement from the devs to the community as well. So we're going to go ahead and chop down all this wood because of the fact that we are about to consume a lot of it, making the gates around our little colony here. So as we take out all this rock, I want to make sure I take it all out. We're going to go ahead and start building a defensive wall. And I actually really like the grid system they have for colonizing and all that sort of jazz. Because it really lends itself well to being able to design your colony the way you want to and put walls the way you want to. So we'll go ahead and take out these 2 trees right here, and I think that'll be pretty much good for us to start building up the wall around our defensive perimeter. We're not going to build our base too terribly large here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into control. And we're going to go over defense, and we have a lot of defensive options that are wildly available right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start at the rock wall over here. And you want to click, and then you can drag this up to 1 tile away. So you just do it like that. And as you can tell, like here, there's a tree. We can actually go around the tree, and I'm going to actually do just that. Because maybe I want to gain access to that tree later, and I want to get that stone, actually. And I'll even put ourselves a door right here. So we'll just hit the door option. Alright, so there's our door. As you can see, it has a 0 mana symbol on there, which means that we will need to tie a power line to that door. And I'm going to keep on dragging our wall this way. I'm trying to get a good idea of where I want it to go. This seems like a pretty good distance. We'll start cutting this way. I'm going to cut all the way over to my sawmill. We should actually cut this way a little bit more too. And then there we go. Actually, I think I want to... Let's actually remove some wall. Because I think maybe a door would be good right about here as well. So we'll do a door from here to here. Nice. And then we have one more place I'd like to put a wall, which is right over here. I'll go ahead and clear out these rocks and trees. And I think we're still doing pretty good on a rock and wood front, so that's good for us. The good news is, from what I can tell, the game is very patient with you in the sense that it's not going to throw any more enemies right at you until you get your first set of defensive walls and stuff up. So now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and I'm going to put a door right here. And then I'm also going to fit a gate right here as well. Or some walls here. I think that's good. I don't think we're going to be able to wiggle past that. Okay, good. Now that we've done that, we can put ourselves some defensive turrets. I believe for the tutorial's sake, they end up putting the enemies coming from that direction. I kind of wish that we had some sort of heads up for that one, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and control open this, and we're going to make 2 defensive turrets. We'll put one right about here, and I'll put another one here. And then as you can see, we need to find ourselves some, basically some power lines here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, go to our settlement tab, and find our power lines. And I'm going to drag this all the way there. And we can even use this to power our door. From the door to our other turret. There we go. And we can come over the door and we actually hit this, and that'll actually remove or allow us to close said door. I'm also going to go ahead and power up this door. Let's see if we can actually go ahead and click and put down some more turrets here. So I'm going to put one there, and probably need to take out this tree right here in order to put another one here. Alright, so there goes that one. And I'm going to put another turret right there. And we'll go ahead and look at powering these up. Alright, there's that one. And then we could click that and get that there. So we got 2 more turrets on this side. We'll go ahead and close this door. And then last but least, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put any turrets right here just yet, but I am going to go ahead and put a power line going from here to the door. There we go. And now we can just close this one up right as well. So that's done. It wants us to go ahead and also craft 2 balloon defense turrets. I need a bit more stone. And we can also just come over to our stone quarry instead of having to build stone. And you can actually just hammer at this one too. So as you can see, I'm still able to hammer and generate stone from this stone quarry the same way that the machine is getting the stone as well. And I find this to be really useful, so I don't have to go out and hunting for the stone. I'm going to take a drink to moisten my throat. Much better. I think, at least. It sounds a little bit better. So I'm going to try to aim for about, like, I don't know, maybe 130, 150 stone, maybe, just to help us out with this. I assume at a later stage in the game, you'll be able to up the ante in how much stone production is actually coming from these walls or generating from them. Either that or you'll establish more colonies, so the stone and wood gathering over time is exponential. Alright, so there we are. We have about 150 stone. Let's go ahead and create our next 2 defensive turrets. We're going to go ahead and create one of the balloon turrets right over here. I'll say we'll put one right there. And then I'm also going to put one over here by these guys as well. And of course, we gotta find a way to power those up. So I'll go ahead and draw the power line here to this one. And then I will come back over here to this one. And do the same. There we go.
Now. Whatever comes close to this turret will regret it.
And if the turret
I am also going to go preemptively and do something. I want to see if this helps at all. I have everything set to high. Actually, you know what? High should be fine. It was set on epic. I want to see if this helps at all with the frame rate whenever it starts.
Keep silent, but remember, it's an anxious kind of silence.
Oh, now it wants to go and build houses, so we're not getting attacked just yet. So we'll go ahead and build some houses.
True, something really bad is going on here.
We're getting attacked.
I can see that. The monsters are coming out of this nest.
It's not about the monsters. Something much worse. As if all magic in this place...
We have to destroy the nest. Otherwise, the settlers don't stand a chance.
Otherwise, nobody stands a chance.
So as you can see, the monsters are coming out, and our defensive turrets are doing the work. We can actually go out here and fight them if we want. I'm going to wait for the enemies to be thinned out ever so slightly. And then I'll jump out and help them. We can even repair the gates and stuff like that if we want to. As you can see, there are quite a number of monsters. I'm going to go ahead and open our door. And it does get kind of a little bit gross here with the frame rate when you first come out. But it should basically go down just a little bit more here soon. Alright, so those guys are gone. It looks like we have done most of the work here. We can hold to repair our things. And it looks like that it doesn't take any wood to repair our fences, which is good. And the moment that storm subsides a little bit, it looks like it essentially comes down. The FPS goes back up a little bit. So it's the storms really that happen that really affect the frame rate. One thing I'll say about this repair thing, this is actually the first time I've actually repaired my wall around my base. That can happen a little bit faster, especially if you have to repair multiple instances of your colony. That could take some time We'll come over here to this nest, and we'll work on taking this nest down. So we're working on taking the nest down. You do have to keep an eye out for your stamina down there, because every time you use the combo attack or your normal attacks, you are using stamina. But it is a-okay. And it does kind of suck, because if you do mess up your combo, it does take just a moment for your game to essentially, or it does penalize you for not hitting those
And the clan council wants to send settlers here?
combos.
I'm a bit worried as well.
But oh, who are we to criticize the verdicts of the noble council? They must have had their reasons.
Well, they might have. And we have our tasks. To dig a well, to build houses for the settlers.
Who will get ripped apart by wild beasts.
But at least we know where they are coming from. And we can destroy their nest. What's that?
Dark stone. A concentration of dark magic.
Maybe it would be better not to leave it here.
You're right. I think that monster and stone are made from the same source.
Alright, so now that we've dealt with that, we can go ahead and repair our walls again. I do like the animation that when you're repairing the walls, you can actually see the wooden pillars go back up into the base. That is a nice touch for sure. So we had to repair that one, and we definitely need to repair our gate. That took quite a beating, honestly. There are other turrets, but it wasn't one of the ones they asked you to build for the tutorial. I should try building the mortar turret in the future for sure, because that definitely looks like it could be fun to use. But after we build these, this wall up, and I want to go ahead and build that wall over there on the far right side that says it's down to 426 health. We'll go ahead and start working on the houses there in our base. Alright, so that one's built. Might as well. This one, it's almost finished anyways, right? Alright, so all of this is fixed. Oh, no, this wall's not. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. I gotta repair everything. Alright, so that's repaired. Might as well. There we go. Alright, we'll open up this door. We'll come back inside. I do like the fact that whenever you are going into combat, however, if you didn't notice, the door does shut behind you automatically. So we're going to come down here, and we are going to go ahead and build our first 3 little houses. And I'm just going to go ahead and build them like this. Might as well. There we go. And now it's going to ask us to connect a pipeline to them, which is easier said than done. So now we have 3 energized houses.
No hunger, no deadly frost.
And now we need to make a water well.
Generation after generation.
It's good to finally understand them. Let's go.
And then I'm going to go ahead and build a pipeline to our water well.
Host, when we asked you for something to drink, you gave us plain water, you twit. For that, we will go to your well, and right there, without much ado, take a...
Alright, so the last part of the demo, from as far as I got, is actually coming up. Funny enough, this is actually the part I did first, just wandering around. We also need to power up this device. I don't know what these are used for. After building a base in the colony on the island, you can activate the point. Don't know, and I'm assuming that's like a respawn point if you die. So we'll make our way up the hill, because there is a mysterious tower right up there.
I'm almost certain that this is one of the ancient Escoim ports. These half-buildings, half-machines guided airships and served as a harbor. Look, Escoim ruins. They have stood here for thousands of years. Look here! This looks like some Escoim...
Blueprint of some kind of thrust engine. Think I know how to improve my armor using this technology so that it could jump much higher. We have to go to the workshop to see if it works, or it will be a waste of resources.
Well, first off, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and head up to the statue, or this tower.
Something's not right here. The tower is saturated with dark magic. This crystal is the source of it.
Let's take it off.
Alright, so this tower right here, another thing they don't really touch on is this is actually where, whenever your colonizers show up, this is where they're going to show up at.
The navigation stone for the port to function correctly.
Navigation stone. I read about it.
Let's search the crash site. Perhaps the navigation stone is still there, buried among the rubble.
But if we want to find the wheel, we have to look for it near the airship. Dwarves used such stones in their airships, haven't they?
Yes.
Ooh, that's why we are going to the crash site.
So what they're basically saying is the power stone for that tower, or at least another blue stone, was on the airship. It was actually embedded in the wheel, the navigation wheel for our airship.
Crash trail ends here. Navigation stone is not here.
And now we need to find it.
Fallen off somewhere else. We must find it.
I have an idea where it might be.
And the cool thing is, now that we have an idea, Ragna has pointed out that it could possibly be on that floating island. We hit tab, and we actually mouse over to Ragna, and we will actually be able to fly as her. So if I do that, we are now Ragna. And she's got a flamethrower ability, which seems pretty cool. She's also got the ability to fly, sprint, essentially in the sky. We can do a little spin.
This view has no comparison to the closed spaces of the Great Dwarven Library.
She can basically open up chests and pick up items, so that's really nice. She's not just a scout, so we'll go ahead and pick up our blue crystal.
Got it. Now back to the Grumpy Dwarf.
And she says we can go back to the Grumpy Dwarf, but I know for a fact there's a chest over here in the tutorial area. And this is a Esquime chest that says that we have a fin. What that is for, I do not know. But I'm assuming that's an add-on you can eventually equip to your mech as well. And I really like the above ground view of the area. I really like the way the game looks in this respect. And we'll just sprint down to, or quickly glide down to our mech friend and be on our way. I actually wonder, can I just take over the dwarf and be somewhere nearby? Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Does she have to be with us? No, she's back with us. Cool. So we just have that. And we're going to go back up to our tower up there and put the blue crystal in. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally get around to being able to playtest this game. I feel like I've been waiting. I don't know. I feel like we've known about First Dwarf for maybe a year and a half now. Maybe not that long, maybe longer than that. I don't know, but I feel like the moment they announced this game, I've been waiting for this one. So I'm very excited to it. I think this is actually helping me lift my spirits and get out of my allergy funk. So that's very exciting for me. So now that we're over here, we'll go ahead and place the stone in.
Let me get the navigational stone.
And now we need a monowell.
Did it do anything?
Nothing. Just as I expected.
Wait a minute. The Esquime also used mana. Let's connect a pipe and see what happens.
And there we go.
Let the mana flow.
There's light. What do you know? It worked.
Well, and our first colony is ready.
We can send a raven and wait for the colonists.
So now we've done that, we can just basically head on back down to our colony here. And at our home, there should be a raven that we can send off, and it'll help send colonizers to our first colony. So there's a raven. Send raven. And the moment we send him off, he is immediately going to start calling dwarves in.
I can't believe it. I hope he succeeds.
He will succeed. I believe in it.
The first colony is finished. But this is just the beginning.
Alright, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and build our workshop here on the side because it's going to ask us to. And now we can do all sorts of things. One of the most important things being that we can now also activate that Esquime technology that puts boosters on our mech. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now
simple and
we have a
brilliant.
jetpack.
Why did none of us ever come up with this? Look, I can jump so high I could catch birds in flight.
But
So
how on
now-
earth could we find something like this in Esquime ruins?
I have no idea. Maybe the construction of the armor is based on Escoim ideas.
I'm actually
Or maybe
gonna...
something really strange is going on here.
I'm gonna try building another technology here. We're gonna try the mortar. I think that'd be fun to do a mortar. So I'm gonna do a mortar right there, and because I think we're gonna be attacked, I believe, from the hill right here. We're still waiting for our dwarves to come in. The cool thing is we can try out our high jump pack, so we can move around, and as we hold down spacebar, we actually charge this up. We let go, and you want to make sure that you actually hold down spacebar when you launch, because that'll actually let you use thrusters to soften your landing, therefore not taking any damage on your fall. And if you ever need more of your mana energy, you can come over here to this mana well and hold down. You'll hook up to it, and you'll actually extract enough mana to power up your thrusters. So it looks like we are now updated to meet the arriving dwarves. So let's go ahead and go up the hill. And we should be able... We don't even need to go all the way up this hill from what I remember. I believe there's a cutscene that activates that says, hey, we showed up. So you're just more of like a greeting party and not having to go all the way there. And here they are. And now that you have the houses for them, they will move into your colony. And now that they have moved into your colony, you're free to pretty much go back to your base for now. And we're going to actually go talk to the chief, who was, for whatever reason, not actually located at the base. It's located over here at the airship. Oh, but we are getting attacked. You can tell from the storm. So I'm going to go ahead and open this door. And I believe they're going to come from the top over there. I could be wrong. Yeah, so they're there at the top, and luckily our balloon tower is actually doing a lot of the damage, and so is our mortar. Is our mortar shooting over there? Oh yeah, it actually looks like our mortar is doing some work. It's actually drawing their aggro to that cliff, and they're not actually able to make it down to the cliff face, so putting the mortar there actually was not a bad idea. It looks like we do have one making it down the hill, but I don't think we're going to be really concerned with having to defend our base. I think it was a perfect place to put our mortar, because they're literally being drawn right there. So our turret should take out this guy, and any other stragglers that show up. And they just deleted that guy, just as they're deleting that guy as well. Oh, they do have a slight amount of pushback. That's nice. And while they're doing that, I am also going to go out here, because we will need to go up to the top of this gate. Let's see if we can run past this guy. Let's see if their turrets will just take him out on their own, or if he's going to chase us. Looks like he's going to chase us. So we're going to give him the old 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to work our way over to the nest where those guys came from and destroy that nest. And it looks like the turrets are dealing with those void creatures pretty much on their own fairly well. And they are all dead. And this one has a little bit more health than the other one, I think. It feels like it's taking more to destroy this one. Luckily, I feel like I've gotten much better with the timing of these swings. And I just realized that you can actually cancel out that last combo and immediately start a new attack if you use the block button. So that's a new little, that's a fun little tech, I guess. And this thing is almost done. So after we hit our 4-hit combo, if you hit the block button, you can immediately go into a new attack, which is a nice thing to know. So the storm should go away. It's not going away. Maybe it just takes a minute. Are there any other enemies awake that I don't see? Oh well, we'll make our way over to the chief anyways. Hopefully the storm should subside on its own here in a moment.
I, the head of this guild, congratulate you on achieving your first task as First Dwarf.
I'm going to fulfill my duty to the end.
True. While flying the ship, I sensed a foul scent from the nearby island. Perhaps this is a lead for preparing the next grounds for settlement.
Thank you, Mother.
Don't forget that convincing non-kin chiefs of other guilds will not be such an easy task. For the sake of our clan, I hope you succeed.
I will succeed.
I feel like the dialogue could definitely use a little booster. It's not terrible, but it's not super fantastic. Definitely feels like it could use a little bit more or something.
Family conversation, but your mother is right. There's a mysterious smell coming from that island.
Alright, so now that we've done that, our next establishment, or next duty is to get up to this island and see what's going up here. So we're going to be using our first activation of our booster pack. So you hold down your square button, or your space bar, to power up the jump. You can actually run while using this. And we're going to thrust as we're flying through the air so we can actually make it here. For our softer landings, for sure. And yeah, we're gonna keep on seeing if we can make it up here. And here we are. Look around from a high spot on the island. So for me, this is where the demo actually cut out. So I'm assuming that maybe there's a timer on it. Maybe you only get like 60 minutes or something. But we'll check around the island. So this is entirely new to me as well. Looks like we have quite an expansive area compared to the first area. I see some places for some stone quarry. As well as below, I believe I saw something that said a forge. Oh, yeah, and that's exactly where the demo is closing out. So this is a first look at First Dwarf. This is the playtest that went available today. If you like what you saw and you want to wish list and plan on picking up the game for yourself, I will leave a link down in the description so you can go over to the Steam page and wish list it so you can get all the latest updates on the game. Again, this is important to realize that this is a early access playtest of this game, so what you saw in the game was clearly not a finished version of the game or what will be available. A lot of things will change. Hopefully there will be a lot of updates from the feedback that have been going out to the team. That being said, if you like the content and you want to see more footage from games like from First Dwarf and other games like it, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. As always, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later.